Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and today is Medicinal Friday. Who's ready to learn about a beautiful plant that I bet you all of you have, or most of you have in your garden? Alright guys, so I haven't done a Medicinal Friday in forever because we have been trying to get this garden together. But I thought I would hop on here because there is a plant that I need to prune and I might as well tell you all the benefits that it has for you medicinally, as well as, how I plan on using the plant. So that plant, if you haven't guessed it, is right behind me, and it is my beautiful nasturtium plant. Yes, your nasturtium plant that you're probably growing just for its beautiful flowers and to every now and then take a bite of and say, hey, it's edible, when you're telling your friends, even though it tastes very peppery. You can use that for a ton of different medicinal purposes. So make sure at the end of the season, you're not just throwing it away. Now, before we dive into this topic, I wanted to show you guys my new book. Oh, it's going to be backwards. I'm filming on my phone. I get it. It is the Native American Herbalist Bible. And the reason why I wanted this book so bad is, one, because you should always have a library of books because books are knowledge. And two, this book has a section where it talks about the garden and how to grow these things at home for yourselves. And it also talks about, it has a whole section and chapter on gentle herbs for children. I get a lot of questions on how much do you give your child and what should be the proper dosage and what plants are safe, what herbs are safe. And I would like to recommend this book to you guys. I will have it linked down below. I got it on Amazon. And it is a great book for you to kind of get yourself familiar with different herbs that you can not only use for yourself, but also use for your child. So let's talk about this nasturtium plant. First, let's go up close to it, see what it looks like, and cut some pieces off of it. Alright guys, so this is the nasturtium plant. Nasturtium is a giant, enormous plant, if you guys were wondering. It grows viney and winey. You can grow it up things. It will take over your life. It is pretty huge. So I am going to be using this plant for a couple of different reasons. We talked about most of them for Medicinal Friday, and also I'm going to be using the seeds to make what's called the poor man's caper. So I will take those off on a different video, and then also the flowers. But let's talk about how we are going to use this plant for Medicinal Friday. And we are going to start off by just taking this giant stream of plant right here. Alright guys, so now we have our beautiful nasturtium plant. Let's talk about first what all parts of the plant are medicinal and edible. And yes, the entire plant is medicinal and edible, which is one of my favorite parts about it. Now, I'm going to be collecting the seeds of the plant, and there is a recipe for the poor man's capers, so I am going to be trying that out. I will let you guys know how that goes. That'll be the first time that I made it. But also the flowers are edible, which I will be using the flowers for pretty ice, and that's going to be used for our cocktails. And then some of the flowers I will also be using with the leaves. Now, if you guys have never had a nasturtium leaf or flower, it does have like a peppery taste. And so it tastes kind of like, to me, it kind of tastes like horseradish, which is why I'll put some on my salads, but mostly I put it in a stir fry. So then that way it gives it that peppery taste, or that like spicy taste to whatever dish I'm making. You can also use the stems as well. The whole plant tastes the exact same. So any part that you're biting into, it's going to taste that way. Now, let's talk about, I made a list here on my little nifty paper. Let's talk about what nasturtium is. So nasturtium is an antibacterial, antifungal, antiseptic, disinfectant, exfoliant, I always struggle with that word, expectorant, and wound care. It's a wound healer, antimicrobial, and a natural antibiotic. Did you know that your nasturtium plant could do all of that? For those of you guys that have been throwing it away, you're throwing away medicinal gold. Make sure you are saving this plant. So there are a couple ways that you can use it. One, you can clearly just eat it, and when you're eating it, you can use it for lung infections to treat such things as like bronchitis. You can use it for sore throat. You can use it to improve your immune system. It's very high in vitamin C. It fights bacterial and fungal infections. It also could be used to treat UTIs and also yeast infections. So you can use this as just eating it, and eating it that way. You can make a tincture with it. Use it that way. You could brew it as a tea, do a gargle for your throat, or you could also do like a sitz bath if you had something like a UTI or a yeast infection. You can also dehydrate it, grind it up, and make it into a pill, and then just take it that way too as well. If you get those little capsules, which I will put my capsules that I get down below too as well, because they are vegan and are easy to dissolve in your tummy. So you can ingest it that way. You can also use it for your skin and your hair, which is, if you guys have been asking me what I'm doing with so much nasturtium, that's what I'm doing with it. I am making a toner, and I am also making a hair rinse. Those were my main reasons for growing my nasturtium plant. I'm very, very excited about this, if you guys have not guessed. One of the things I love about a garden is that things grow when you need them. And right now we are getting ready to hit high temperatures, like really high temperatures. It's going to be in the 90s, like mid 90s, I think sometime like tomorrow or maybe even today, something like that. But it is going to be hot. And one of the main things that nasturtium can do is protect your hair and your skin and your scalp from the sun's rays. Did you guys know that? I thought that that is one of the most amazing things. So when I was picking out seeds to grow, I was like, okay, we need to get that ready for this Arizona sun, because it will burn the crap out of your hair and the crap out of your skin. But the nice part is that we can grow something that will be beautiful and ready to use, and still have time to make a tincture, still have time to dehydrate it, all before we hit those really, really high triple-digit temperatures. So as a skin and hair product, you can use this. That way it can fight infections. So really bad acne, any type of infections in the skin or infections on the scalp. It is a very strong antiseptic. So it's something that if you have a small child, I would be careful putting a lot of it on them, because it could kind of be too strong for their skin. So maybe dilute it a little bit, or just use it for your teens. It also contains vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and flavonoids. And it protects your hair and your skin from the damage of the sun rays and pollution, which I think is pretty cool. Now, for your hair, how I'm going to use it is I am going to make a rinse. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pre-rinse, which before I shampoo my hair, call it a pre-poo, I rinse my hair out with something in order to detangle it and just kind of get the gunk off of it. It's kind of like if you were to use a clarifying shampoo. That's kind of what the clarifying part of the shampoo does, but clarifying shampoos can be so harsh on your hair. So I like to use something more natural. Normally I use something like a rosemary or something like that, like rosemary water, but the nasturtium also is going to help protect your hair against those sun rays. So it's going to be nice, and it's very, very clarifying because it is an anti-everything. So what my plan is to make just a simple tea out of it. So all I'm going to do is take some hot water and put some of these little leaves, maybe the stems and branches type parts of it, like the harder parts that I don't need to make like a regular tea or use it for ice or something like that. So I'm gonna make a tea out of that, and then I'm just gonna rinse my hair. So in order to preserve this and keep it for a longer period of time so that I can have more than one hair rinse, I'm going to dry a lot of this plant. So a lot of this plant is going to get chopped up and put in my dehydrator so that then I can dry it, and that way I always have it for when I need to use it to pre-rinse my hair. Now, the other thing that you can do, or the one thing I wanted to mention too with your hair, is that it does help your hair from becoming really brittle. So one of the things that the sun does to your hair is it just completely dries out. One of the huge things that I think a lot of people that use oils and products in their hair don't realize is that, especially in the Arizona sun, for us girls with African American hair, we put oil or shea butters or different things like that in our hair, and then we let the sun hit it. And when the sun hits it, it basically fries it. It's like going out, rubbing yourself in oil and going outside and just letting it be. So you want to avoid all of that damage that can happen with that. So by using this, it's going to really protect your hair and really kind of keep it nice and soft and beautiful, and keep any type of infections or funguses or anything like that from growing in your scalp. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use it as a pre-wash for my skin. So I'm going to, once I take off my makeup, then I'm going to spritz this on my face, and all I'm going to do is I am going to soak this in some alcohol. So I'm going to let it sit in a alcohol base, probably like a vodka, and I'm going to let that sit for a couple of weeks is the plan, so that it can really just create a really strong tincture. And then I'm going to take a couple drops of those tinctures, put it in some water, shake it up, and then that's going to be my spritz for after I take off my makeup. One of the most amazing things about nasturtium is that it has the ability to unclog the pores and to clean that skin. Once again, it's a very clarifying plant. So that will clean your skin before you start putting soaps and different things like that on it, or before you start doing scrubs or any of that. Get your skin nice and clean so that then all of the other products that you're putting to moisturize your skin and provide all the buoyancy in your skin is going to really be able to soak into your skin, because your pores aren't going to be super clogged. And the very last thing I am going to do is I am going to take a big batch of it and I'm going to soak it in some vinegar, because this plant can also be used as a really nice disinfectant. I like to make a rosemary disinfectant and also with the vinegar base, and then add a couple of drops of lavender in there. And so adding nasturtium is going to be really exciting for me because it has such a great disinfecting quality. So I have been looking for a lot of natural cleaners for my house, and I've been using like Mrs. Meyer's and Grove, different things like that, but I also can grow all of my own cleaners too as well. So that is going to be the plan. That is what I'm going to do with it. Make sure you guys keep following my channel to see how these products worked out for me that I make, because I will do an update after I make all the tinctures. But until next time, grow yourselves a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Bye.